Go Pizza presents SCP.
Check this.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Okay, you guys. There's so
No,
much...
I need to start the show.
Oh, you need to start. Okay, go, please.
For weeks, we've been teasing this.
Oh, I'm glad you're starting with this.
We haven't done it. Adam, how are we giving away these damn Marlies
You're the one who
tickets?
came up with it. You take it, man.
No, this isn't my thing.
No, you came up with this idea.
Someone coordinated this event with the Marlies and has been teasing for centuries now that we got to give away these tickets.
Well, I can't actually remember what you said, even though it was a great idea. So you're gonna have to do it. I got stuff happening, man. I'm busy.
this Sunday.
This Sunday we got a Marlies game.
This.
Don't worry, we can pick a couple winners. All right.
I'll pull up exactly what I wrote.
Well, Jesse's doing that. I'm going to tell you what you're going to get. Box seats to the Marlies, baby. Box seats at the freaking Marlies this freaking weekend. Steve, you haven't said a word yet.
I was trying to see how long I could go.
No.
Without saying a word.
Steve just-
Box seats! Marlies! For your life! Do it!
We still haven't told them what to do.
Put the Marlies into your life! I don't know what to do.
So you're going to...
That's why I didn't say anything.
If you want to come to the Marlies game this Sunday...
This Sunday!
Watch out.
Yeah, Jesse doesn't put a cap on his coffee because he's freaking dangerous like
This
that.
Sunday.
I only bust caps
Oh.
in your ass.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That's not even coffee.
We listened to Ludacris before. It is
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah, I put on Ludacris on purpose because I wanted...
Yeah, it is coffee. The light was reflecting strange.
Anyway,
Are you tired, Steve?
I am. Here, wait.
So, let's get to this. You will have...
Marlies! Sunday!
oh man, I'm so tired.
Former and potentially future Leafs! And current!
But not Kasperi Kapanen. You're right?
He might be there! We don't know yet!
Jesse, go ahead.
Marlies!
If you want to be at the Marlies game this Sunday with us, you will have to tweet us a photo of you and 3 friends and show us where you watched the game, and we'll upgrade you to our suite.
Oh, I like
so
it.
you can watch the game in luxury.
I like that.
With
I like
us.
that. All right.
So yeah, tweet a photo. You got to include.
You and 3 friends.
Do we have a hashtag?
Marlies! Wait, no, I feel like that might be taken.
STP.
Podcast.
Marlies life. Marlies life!
No.
No.
No?
No.
Why
Okay,
not?
no hashtag. Just
No, we got to use the hashtag.
We gotta use the hashtag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like Marlies life probably isn't taken.
How about this?
Maybe by like one of their super fans who's like, that's all I do is I go to the
Okay,
Marlies
so-
and I'm the biggest Marlies fan. And
Hear
you're
me
not a
out.
Marlies. I didn't watch the Leafs, I watched Marlies.
Hear me out. The Sweet Life with Adam and Steve.
Oh!
How do you spell sweet?
SUITE.
Like
Yeah.
Sweet.
That took me a
Not-
sec also.
Not sweet as in sweet.
But maybe you're
As
excited
in-
to see Andreas Johnson. So it'd be the Swede life.
Oh, no, it's the Sweet Life with Adam and Steve.
which
Maybe
one,
you have
which
a lot
one
of-
of you
good.
is Zach and which one's Cody?
See, I don't get that.
I'm too old.
Really?
I just remember the
Cody's
show.
Jughead now.
Listen.
Well, they're the same guy. Like, they were interchangeable. We're not even sure that there's more than one. It's just that they
might
CGI'd a guy in.
What are you two blabbing about?
Like,
It might have just been the same kid playing both parts.
yeah, I mean, you saw the Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. They
isn't the
figured that
Parent
out.
Trap.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah,
was-
this is
It's Lindsay Lohan and Lindsay Lohan.
we don't know that that's probably the same guy. And he probably's got 2 Twitter accounts like Kevin Durant, and he tweets from both of them. And has 2
Oh my
girlfriends,
God.
and it's good times.
See, people who have shipped Cody will angrily tweet you and be like, no, one of them is better. And I can't wait till those tweets.
If you have kids right now, you probably know what we're talking about. If you don't, you probably have no idea what we're talking about.
I got shipped. I understand shipping.
You got shipped?
Yeah.
You and Jeff, right?
Yeah, we got shipped.
That's hot. That's hot. Hey,
And then
anyway,
we
so
got shipped.
tweet us your photo of you and 3 friends
Marlies life.
watching,
Hashtag.
No.
watching the Leafs
Tweet us
game or
Marlies
whatever game
life.
you watch and how you watch it. And just tweet us the photo. Most creative photo wins. We'll pick the winners on Thursday, I guess.
Right.
It's a hashtag Marlies life.
and there will be several winners, and no, not Marley's life. If
What
you,
is it?
If you put Marley's life in there, we will disqualify you.
Yeah, that's a rule.
Hashtag the sweet life with Adam and Steve.
The sweet life. Hashtag Marlies life.
No.
Wait, when is this again?
This
Sunday.
Sunday!
Hey, question for you. Since we're talking about fans, who do fans of the Senators like more? Erik Karlsson or the Ottawa Senators?
Wow.
The answer is always Eugene Melnyk.
Great question and equally good answer.
Thank you.
That is wow. I'm going to say Erik Karlsson.
I'm going to go with Erik Karlsson as well. Yeah, you're saying Eugene. You know, Eugene's the sleeper in that race. Jesse's holding tight to Eugene.
He's bringing up the rear.
took a poll.
He's D. His answer is D.
Sometimes the surprise candidate comes out of nowhere and he wins.
Oh, but
and he
coming at
wins
the rear is
vote.
Eugene Melnyk. Yeah, that's really hard because like there have been other fan favorites. There have been fan favorites for the Sens before Daniel Alfredsson. I think it's about a 50-50 split. I think, okay, how many Sens fans, upon losing Erik Karlsson, if that comes to pass, will cease being Sens fans?
Well, that's what I mean. How many people are fans of Erik Karlsson and how many people are fans of the actual team?
Well, it's like how the Habs broke Andrew Berkshire. Like when Subban was gone, he was done.
And several.
He'll be back.
He's kind of half in now.
He'll be back.
He's kind of back.
He's back. But he's out enough that he wore a Leafs jersey to a Habs game. As a front.
Like, he would have never done that 2 years
as
ago.
a cover up.
He did do it. God bless him, he did it.
did
And the whole
do it.
game. The reason I ask is because, surprise, surprise, Ottawa Senators management got all in a huff when Erik Karlsson said, "You have to pay me money." And this is my favorite part of this was I read 31 Thoughts, was it 2 days ago when it came out? And I was like, the whole time I was like, inside because I was doing another show. But way to go, Steve. Turn your ringer off. Here's what Elliot had to write. In the immediate aftermath of Karlsson's comments, there was a lot of anger inside the organization.
You don't say.
Owner Eugene Melnyk is always the flashpoint, but it went deeper to Eugene Melnyk's other people that work for Eugene Melnyk.
Pierre Dorian.
Yeah. There was at least one tense meeting between the captain and team officials. In conversation with Sportsnet Rashma Danny last weekend in San Jose, the franchise cornerstone says his quotes were taken out of context. I'm not sure how you could take those quotes out of context. One of the theories around Ottawa's request for Karlsson's list, and by the way, if you haven't heard, Ottawa asked for basically every player on the team need their list, and there are 10 players with protected lists that they needed to request. They requested Karlsson's. One of the theories is they're trying to rattle his cage as much as he rattled theirs. So this is what you do when your kid does something wrong. What you do, like let's say your kid throws a banana on the floor. The way to stop them from throwing the banana on the floor is to yourself throw another banana on the floor, right?
See, I don't get that example because you didn't use a dog instead of kids.
Okay.
So please use a dog instead.
So if my dog poops on the floor, the way to stop my dog from pooping on the floor is to poop right next to the poop that my dog just took.
I don't think that's. I haven't.
Well,
tried
I
that.
mean, listen. That's if the Senators' logic is to be believed, then that's exactly what they did. Oh, you rattled our cage. Well, we're gonna rattle you back.
Yeah.
We're gonna send you to somewhere else.
Yeah,
where they might make the playoffs.
Yeah, irreplaceable franchise cornerstone whose contract is up and we're desperately trying to re-sign.
This is so great.
Take this.
Oh, I too can poop on the floor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll trade you. Okay.
All right. So I get what I want.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dope. Sounds great.
Elliot goes on to say, not long after I relayed the theory to someone, I was contacted by another source. He pointed to the 2010-2011 Senators when they dropped to 26th in the NHL. That year they traded Fisher, Kelly, and Kovalev. I forgot Alex Kovalev was a Senator. That is going to be the blueprint once again. The Senators have 10 players with some level of protection, and all will be asked for their preferences. Now, I couldn't help but cross my mind that there's a specific contract on that team where if it wasn't there, you could pay Erik Karlsson whatever you wanted to pay him. But because that specific contract is there, you're going to have some trouble. And it's good.
Adam, Matt Duchene just got.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, enough about Alex Burrows.
That deal.
Adam.
That deal.
Come on. What are you doing?
Dave Notice comes back to haunt the Ottawa Senators. It might be his greatest parting gift to us is
Phaneuf's contract?
Phaneuf's contract.
That was gotten rid of cleverly by not him? Wow.
Think about that. And you think about that trade.
Was that? No, that trade wasn't
Oh,
noticed.
2 years ago. No, that was not. It was Lou. It was Lou. Dude. It was Lou.
Okay.
Lou's in his third year. It was 2 years ago. You think about that trade now.
It's been such a blur.
You had Greening, Mahalik, Cowan, and
Tobias Lindbergh.
coming the other way. And you trade
And a pick.
Phaneuf and something.
Yeah. Oh, it was Phaneuf and like 4 prospects we'll never hear from. Casey Bailey, it plays sometimes.
All of those contracts have since expired, except for Dion Phaneuf. Now, we've re-signed Colin Greening, but that's an AHL deal.
Yeah.
I
It's an NHL deal,
Is it an NHL deal?
but he's in the minors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the point is, I do think that deal in retrospect, as much as at the time the Leafs took on more salary, kind of looks bad. Kind of looks like highway robbery.
For the Sens?
Kind of looks like the Leafs robbed them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always about the Leafs. Don't
Well,
you ever forget it.
If
Everybody, I just want you to know your place in the world. It's a Toronto Maple Leafs world.
let's say they hung
Talk
on to
about
all
the
those.
Sens, Leafs.
Let's say like they hung on to all those expiring deals. Okay. Now I'm not saying Dion Phaneuf was not a force for them. He was good, but you still have Mark Mathot. If you don't trade for Dion Phaneuf, you have $12 million in salary off the books because all of those players are gone, and you have not Dion Phaneuf's contract on the books, which is in what is it, $7 million?
7.1, I think. Yep.
I'm just saying that's a deal that's going to haunt them. And how do you move that deal now?
You can.
Not.
No, I think Nick Kypreos hit the nail on the head during second intermission of Hockey Night this past Saturday, which is must watch television.
Oh,
by the way.
headlines?
I am not just pumping my company's tires. It is Kypreos, Johnston, Friedman, who's usually the third to speak, hosted by Ron McLean. It is big shiny tunes hockey, nothing but hits. Always. It's 31 thoughts, but in video form and fast and in your face, and usually with a beer in hand. It is the best.
It's jock jams on steroids.
Whoa.
Everybody
Yo,
dance now.
it's now 2.
Wow. Wow. It is Electric Circus.
Whoa.
With suits.
Wow. All right. Good suits, though.
Do you want to see Chris Johnson dance with glow sticks? Because you can
On a
every
table.
Saturday
I
night.
feel
On
like
a table.
I feel like if you ran into him in a Nashville bar, you might be.
You
able
might
to see
actually be
him.
able to see it live.
Yeah. It's-
And by the way, we would
Have you
say
ran
that with
into
CJ
anybody in a
here.
Nashville bar?
Yeah, really.
I think they would
Go to
just-
Nashville and try not to.
They wouldn't
Good
even
luck.
say hi. Their response would be, "I'm in Nashville." I'm in Nashville. So yeah, Kypreos basically said if I remember correctly, now I don't want to misrepresent him, was he would trade.
I do.
He would trade him if he was the Sens.
I would too.
The Sens cannot afford to pay a player like that.
Chris Johnson said, hard to win a trade like that. And I think
He's also correct.
he's correct. I don't think you win it. I think you just try to come out with, I mean, look what Colorado did with Matt Duchene. Look what they were able to haul in for Matt Duchene.
That's the new standard.
Like,
What a fantastic. I take back everything I said about Justin. That's not true. He made some dumb decisions. But what a fantastic trade.
if you get a haul like that for Karlsson, you're probably thinking that's great.
If you get a haul like that for Karlsson, you got ripped off.
You did get ripped
It
off.
better be twice that.
My point is, I don't know that teams can afford to pay twice that. I think
know.
you're going to have to, like, the market will only pay so much, right?
You got to pay. It's got to look like a junior hockey trade where you're dealing picks 9 years down the line. Hi, I got your second round pick for the next 6 years.
The other side of it is this. First off, it doesn't make sense to me, at least, to re-sign Karlsson and then put him through a rebuild in his prime. Because that's where they're headed. They knew that it was last year and this year. That's why Burrow's got a 2-year deal. Maybe extended to the 3rd year. I don't think so. In terms of what their ability is going to be. And it looks like
They do like when guys linger.
they definitely let lingerers linger. But
Well, this isn't a problem you have to worry about until next year, right? Let Karlsson play out this year for sure, and then maybe come next year, you see where you are come this time next season. And maybe if you're in a playoff spot, you just run with it.
Problem is
What did
that
Friedman say?
the problem is that guys with a year and a half left are worth more than guys with half a year left.
Yeah, it's got to be like
If
it's
you have
got to
a-
be dealt like before the next season begins.
I don't think that applies to Erik Karlsson.
No?
No,
It may not.
I think he's too good. You deal him whenever. You get the same package.
Yeah, but no team. I don't think you can afford to add Erik Karlsson on the fly. You know what I mean?
Well, $6.5 million, man. I think you can.
Yeah.
So you think it
Man.
would be playoff rental Erik Karlsson? Because you get less for playoff rental Erik Karlsson.
But
if
may-
you get full season Erik Karlsson, holy shit!
That's what I'm
imagine
making
it
the
might not,
trade.
it's not. I don't think it's playoff rental. I think it's maybe a month in, like early November, if they're right out of it next year. But I don't see why you don't let them play out this season for sure.
I do. They're 9, 12, and 7. And their
With,
goal
like,
differential.
the exact same team, pretty much.
Their goal differential is 70. They have 77 goals for and 98 against, and it's not getting better. You know, that's why I kind of look at it and go, okay, well, if that's the perception that the maximum value is now or this summer, because any team that wants him is going to want the break on the salary before they have to try to re-sign him, right? They're going to want that $6.5 million. Wouldn't you make the deal now? Or try to, and then try to keep making that deal until the summertime?
Remember the Duchesne deal got held up? Was that not the Sens who held it up? I thought
don't know.
it was. I thought it was. Boy, that team's screwed.
Mm-hmm.
That team is so boned.
Now, if they start winning,
And crocodile tears from me. Oh, crocodile tears from this Leafs fan. You know who's stoked about this? Habs fans. You know who's stoked about this? Bruins fans. Bruins fans should be tap dancing. Like, look at the Atlantic right now. Look at it.
I'm looking.
Look at it. The bar to get in. Like, the Bruins are third right now, and they have, like, at least 3 games in hand on most teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where are you guys planning on watching the Leafs-Bruins first-round series?
Because it sure looks like it.
Where are you? Like, even if the Leafs take a tumble, and it's like, okay, then Boston gets home ice.
Right. And if
The Leafs have...
I tried looking at the standings on NHL.com, but they rounded points to a single digit.
No.
And I can't.
to a tenth of a point.
Everyone has 4? What?
Oh, my God. That's shocking. That's shocking. I guess we'll
Why
get
would
to
they do that?
Should we talk about it?
No, I mean, I don't know. Where are we going to go with that?
I
It's
mean,
dumb.
We're talking about the December playoff picture. But
You know what? It's dumb. All right, moving on.
All right, so NHL.com
Yeah.
started rounding save percentage to 2 digits, which makes no sense.
yeah, so if you
That's
have
it.
a 919 save percentage, which is good, or a 910 save percentage, which is not good, it's just shown as the same thing. What complete lack of knowledge of the sport. Like, don't ever have you ever played the game me ever again if you make that sort of
Well, it's-
decision.
it-
ever
it's-
This
again.
is the game.
It's always
That's
been that
the
way.
game.
It's
That's-
always been that way, though, too. Like, I can't believe that it has always been to 3 decimal points. I don't understand why it would just automatically just change.
Imagine if they did that with like batting average or ERA.
Oh my God! Baseball fans would lose their minds. You have a whole bunch of old guys going "Mrrr" with their canes. And Jesse.
No.
By the way, random question that has to do with baseball. Yu Darvish who was a free agent, by the way.
Sure.
A lot of apparently he lost Game 3 and Game 7 in the World Series because he was tipping his pitches. What does that mean?
There was a tell to batter. So there was something he was doing in his movement that
They
told
could
them
tell.
which pitch was coming. Because a lot of the times, if you're throwing a fastball, you're throwing a knuckleball or a curveball, you got to move your hand differently in your glove to get the grip.
Right.
So if a batter sees you moving your hand around your glove, he's like, oh, maybe a curveball's coming. But a lot of pitchers, they go through the same motion, so you can't tell what they're doing.
Right.
But I guess Darvish had some sort of tell where he was moving his hand a little extra to get a grip on a curveball. So then batters
Whoa.
figured that out.
Baseball.
Baseball, dog.
If you're into micro, that's why I've started to appreciate it so much more in recent years.
All right,
I'm like,
so-
that's insane.
anyway, wanted to
So
ask
the
that.
field dimensions are different depending on where you play.
Yeah.
But it's the same sport.
Micro. Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, we'll get to the stand.
Where
trade in a
were
little
we?
bit. We were just talking about the decimal point thing. But here's back to the original, which is Karlsson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to go back to the standings.
You have 10 players that have some sort of protection. That's a lot of players with a lot of protection.
Let me tell you as a Leafs fan, that is a recipe for success. Good for the Sens.
We have been there.
Why is it just 10?
Why couldn't it be the whole team? They should all be protected.
Yeah, you breached double digits. Why not more?
Now, do you think they'll be, and this is going to take guts, do you think they'll have the guts to go through a rebuild? Or will they wait too long? Because here's what I
think a lot
here's
of
what I think they
teams-
should do, which is trade Karlsson as soon as you can and get as much as you can. Get as much as you can for Karlsson and strip it down and do your rebuild. That's what I think you should do. What I think they will do is absolutely nothing. They'll stay the course and they'll lose Karlsson to free agency. That's what I think is going to happen.
No,
Yep.
not a chance.
Absolutely.
Not
Somebody's going to sign him. You telling me
No way.
You telling me somebody wouldn't come in and offer him $13 or $14 million? The Senators absolutely
They'll
cannot
for sure
do
get
that.
outbid. That's why if they have a brain inside their skull casing, they will trade him at latest next year's trade deadline. At absolute latest. Ooh, I'm so looking forward to the draft. What if that's a story for the draft?
Eric Karlsson.
Like, okay, with the whole Matt Duchene thing.
Would you give up? No, this wouldn't make sense because no
Go
one's
ahead.
giving. No one's
Go
giving.
ahead.
No
We
one's
have a
giving
long-
up.
It's a long podcast, Adam. Go ahead.
No one's giving up Rasmus Dahlin for Eric Karlsson because that wouldn't make sense, right? If you're building a team,
Wow, the first overall pick? No.
No.
that wouldn't make sense.
Unless the only way that makes any sense is if a team that is clearly not that bad, like Tampa last year, misses the playoffs and wins
gets
the
into the
draft
lottery.
lottery.
I know what happens.
What? Oh, Jesse's got it.
All right.
Edmonton gets the number 1 overall pick.
Nope.
They trade it
We're
to
done.
Ottawa for Eric Karlsson.
Can you imagine that? Well, they'd only be able to have him for 1 year because they can't afford him
Doesn't
beyond that.
matter. McDavid Karlsson.
That'd be pretty scary. That'd be pretty freaking scary.
I'm looking a name up. I can't. I think his name is Jason Bro. I don't know how to say his last name. He's over at Dirty TSN, so boo. But he was like, can we all agree that if the Oilers get Dahlin, we just cancel the league? Like, it's over. It's done. We're done now.
Well, they will win the lottery.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna win. They're gonna win the lottery.
and then they
my
get
God.
Karlsson.
The most upsetting thing to me is the moment I realized that there's nothing wrong with the NHL draft lottery, and it's just the Oilers got astoundingly, immeasurably lucky.
yeah.
If they get that again, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much we need this sport. Like, I think just throw it away. Throw the whole sport away if they get Dahlin.
Remember, it's still the Oilers, and they'll still screw it up.
Right. Oh, I'm not saying, the Oilers, look out, new dynasty coming.
No.
I'm like, oh, what a shame for Dahlin and what could have been an amazing career.
Right.
And what will turn into a fantastic KHL career. 'Cause I just wouldn't come.
No.
I just wouldn't come over.
A great career in New Jersey.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, oh, right. After he gets traded
For Sammy Vatanen.
who's it going to be?
Sammy Vatanen.
We found it. No, because Vatanen's a defenseman. See, they traded their forward depth
Oh,
to fill defensive holes.
Palmieri.
So now they don't have speed up. I think it's Palmieri.
character.
Yeah. Beard. Maybe. Sometimes.
Could be.
Another good player who just will have their career just forever measured against the accomplishments of another. It's a great way to run your team. Again, as a Leaf fan, highly recommend it.
So both of you don't see a way that Eric Karlsson isn't traded from the Senators.
No, I don't think they can afford him.
You know what I can tell you? I'm going to hope that he does resign. You know why? Because it'll be a Carey Price anchor around your neck deal. They will never be bad enough with him to rebuild fully.
Look at them now.
And well, they are pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, to me, like I would even question, like if he came to the Leafs, he'd be phenomenal, right?
Yeah, it's
But
not gonna
then
happen.
he's 29 or he's 30, and you have to sign him to an 8-year deal.
That's okay. It's Eric Karlsson.
If Karlsson becomes a Leaf,
It'd be insane.
you just fold the Sens, right? Like they're done. You can't. There's no coming back from that. None. You're finished forever.
Is he dead in Ottawa? Is he like dead to rights in Ottawa? He's never even acknowledged, kind of like Danny
No.
Heatley?
Here's why he's dead. Sorry. Here's not why he's dead. Here's why the Sens are just dead. If he were to go to the Leafs, fans would like him too much to hate him, so they would just hate their own team.
And become Leaf fans again.
It-
Because they all were.
You're canceled. The Senators are canceled if Karlsson joins the Leafs. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Man,
But they're canceled.
I think
Tarp
at
off
the end of the
every
day,
seat. They're canceled.
I think at the end of the day, the Senators trying to quote unquote rattle his cage is literally the dumbest thing you could do. And what a surprise! Eugene Melnyk flipped his lid about something. I think
It's such a shame because, like, I don't know. I feel like Dorian's done some smart things.
yes.
Having the Sens farm team, selfishly to me, in Belleville is a really smart decision.
Brilliant.
Just
Yep.
down the road. I mean, just down
Well,
the road.
and
It's a lot
isn't-
closer than Binghamton.
Isn't it amazing what the difference 30 games make? Because 30 games ago, we were like, wow, they were one game away from the Stanley Cup Finals.
When the Sens beat the Leafs 6-4, something like that earlier in the season, I was like, this frickin' team. How do you beat these guys? They're the Leafs boogeyman. How do you do it? I made a whole LFR video where I was like, you can't even talk shit about these guys. Pay that man his money because you got to give them their due. And now look at them. Shocking. I don't get it. I don't get what.
No, we'll see what happens in the next 30 games, but they've dug themselves a bit of a hole. They can still get out of it.
I've also been getting an education in analytics recently because I was looking at the Leafs analytics. It's an ongoing education, but I was looking at not really the Leafs analytics, but this is as deep as my monkey brain goes. I was looking at their PDO, which is very high, and their possession, which is actually not very good. It's middle of the pack to lower middle.
Doesn't
of the
surprise me.
pack. Yeah. Those two things usually combine for eventual collapse down to earth. But now there's this new thing, as I'm just getting my head wrapped around this crap. I think it's XGF. And I think that's expected goals for. No idea what magic and wizardry they use to measure that. No idea, but apparently they're like a top 10 team in the league with regards to that. Hey, good for them.
How many XGFs do you have?
One.
Just the one. Jesse?
Yeah.
A couple.
A couple. That's it. That's all we're going to get from Jesse. We will never know their names. We will never know where they reside or what they do or anything. Just know that they existed.
They're all famous.
They're all famous.
But enough about Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Karlsson going to the Oilers, or the Oilers getting the first round pick, is it just me? And I've got a question here. Do we only notice Connor McDavid when the Leafs play the Oilers because he's Connor McDavid? Or is it because we notice Connor McDavid because nobody's that good around him? To me, when I was watching on Sunday, everybody talked about how great Connor McDavid was. He was.
Yeah.
And, Curtis McElhinney stopping that shorthanded breakaway, man, that was a big moment. 10 shots or something he had. But what I didn't recognize was where Leon Draisaitl was.
It's funny.
Like $9 million Leon Draisaitl. Where's he at?
This is why I think you got to respect like analysts and people who do analytics for a living, because sports fans by nature have a very, very short attention span.
Sure.
All playoffs long. Draisaitl. He was the guy putting the puck in the net. Not as much McDavid. And if he was talked about, it was, how he's not scoring as much as Draisaitl. Eberle, whenever the Oilers lost, they're like, Eberle, he's really screwing it up. Nugent Hopkins. But whenever they won, it was all Draisaitl. And, were you about to say that, like, you didn't notice Draisaitl?
I specifically messaged you guys and said I did not. Did Leon Draisaitl play tonight? And I knew he had, but
has he caught any grief this season at all?
I don't think so.
What did he ever do to get? What did he ever do to sit at the you can sit with us table? What? Like, is he best friends with Chris Russell? That's my only theory. When did Draisaitl score in his own net? I need to know. How many hockey men approve of Leon Draisaitl's game? No, you're 100% right, Adam. McDavid was the friggin' Tasmanian devil. All game. Unbelievable. Like, last year when things were going well, McDavid was great, but the whole team was great to watch also.
Sure, yeah, they were exciting.
This was him trying to single-handedly will a win for the Oilers. He almost did it.
Do you want a stat to back that up?
Yes.
Yeah.
So offensive zone puck possession for Connor McDavid, 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Okay.
Wow.
The
One
next
guy.
guy.
Wait, one person?
Offensive zone puck possession.
He took a 30th of the game.
2
On
minutes
offensive-
and 6
One guy.
seconds.
One guy.
The next closest player, Tyler Bozak.
Oh, man.
Who has been great since getting the shits in Vancouver?
He held the puck in the offensive zone for 35 seconds.
What?
So there you go.
Like, he's insane.
He's almost 4 times better than the next human being on ice.
the ice,
Not even
yeah.
teammate. Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow. How didn't they win? Oh my God.
That's from the TSN broadcast.
And that's
so credit them.
But I gotta say, man, like that's the thing. Is Connor McDavid really that good, and he is really that good?
Oh, I was like,
But when you
I
watch
beg
him
your pardon?
play, he's so breathtaking because it's almost like there's no team playing with him. Like when
I
you
see what
see
you're
him
saying.
break into the zone, I bet you for the majority of those 2 minutes, I don't forgive me if I'm wrong here, and I'm sure Oilers fans will back me up because they've been watching this all year. What I see is Connor McDavid leading the charge, and then Milan Lucic's going.
Yeah, who can keep up with him?
No one
should
can
have posted,
no
I
one
think,
can support him.
Yeah.
No one can get into the zone. He is always alone against 3 guys.
Funny. Like, I mean, your eyes tend to watch the team that you're cheering for.
Sure.
It's so funny watching the Leafs play any regular game, and then the second McDavid is on the edge,
Yeah.
because there's nothing. What strategy do you have to stop the fastest player to have ever existed? You don't have one. No one does that.
No.
Did you see that crazy drill that trainer Matt Nickel has McDavid do in the offseason?
No, what's he do?
So, in terms of like 100-meter dash sprinting, he trains with a few other guys. I want to say Wayne Simmons was definitely one, and I want to say Sam Bennett was another, but I might be wrong there. They're faster than he is, straight line. But he has this drill where you begin your sprint, and then at a certain distance, there's 2 lights. One of them lights up, and you have to run towards that side and around like a certain thing. McDavid murders everybody. The way his brain just processes things faster than
Reaction time.
any regular human. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I learned that from 30 Thoughts. I just remembered while I was mid-thing. But watching the Leafs go, okay, we got to get Kadri out, and then they get Kadri out, and they're like, okay, it still wasn't that effective, but okay, it did okay. But then the second McDavid found, McClellan found a way to get him on the ice against someone else. Holy shit. How do you stop that? How do you have that on your team and not be first place?
I don't know, man.
I don't understand.
Well, and that's what I has got to be
On
the
an
frustration.
entry-level deal, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's still on an entry-level deal.
But that's got to be the frustration for Oilers fans. Like, and for Connor himself, like, what is he supposed to do? Like, how much more does one guy need to do?
Control the puck for 3 minutes.
He might have made it
Maybe
happen.
that.
I don't know, man.
What I was going to say about Draisaitl, to your point, he had I think a scoring chance in the third period, and I was like, oh, there he is. That was probably the first time I noticed.
That's not $9 million to me. $9 million is dominant.
Oh, Adam, he's 8-something.
Okay. $8 million is dominant. $8 million is more, with the $8 million he's making is more than Steven Stamkos.
No.
I'm pretty
Really?
sure. Yeah, doesn't Steven Stamkos make 8 flat?
Oh, my God. You know what? You know what's good about the Steven Stamkos deal, other than for Lightning fans? He was right.
He was right.
He was right. He picked the right team. He picked the right price to get the right teammates. He was right. Like, I hope other stars around the league go, you know what? Smart.
Stamkos is at 8.5, and Draisaitl is at 8.5.
That's not the same.
They're not the same player, you're saying?
No.
The
That's
salary
crazy.
says the same.
It's amazing.
They are
It's
exactly
amazing-
the same. They
It's
have the
amazing
exact
what
same
money
skill
does.
set, exact same parents. They are the same guy.
It's amazing what money does. It's Lindsay Lohan, the Parent Trap. It's amazing what money does. Like, Draisaitl is one of the best players in the league, probably.
Yeah.
Or he's like top 50, certainly. And we're talking about him like he's a bum because he makes too much. That's funny.
I don't
Karlsson
think
would have been great in this city if he made like, I don't know, 2.5.
if he played.
Bring that up again.
But let's not pretend
Remember
Leandro.
that? Remember that?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Remember that?
Adam, your point?
Let's not pretend Leon Draisaitl's having a banner year.
What are his numbers? Because I feel like that was part of the reason they hiccuped at the beginning of the season is he was out.
Got it.
Didn't they start okay? Like, didn't they destroy teams in the first couple games or something?
Shooting percentage is 12-7, 21 points in 26 games.
good.
It's good.
Yeah,
real good.
He's almost a point a game.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
What are you shrugging at, Adam?
He's about the same pace as last year, where he was 77 and 82.
See, okay, I think I know what Adam's getting at, even though he hasn't said a word yet. Those are good to great numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting world destroyer money. Those aren't world destroying numbers. Yes, Jesse.
I think that's what it costs for a 22-year-old who can put up 77 points.
No,
You might.
I don't think so. I don't.
I mean, you could make the argument, because Austin Matthews in 26 games has 26 points, that, I mean, what's the difference?
Plays center regularly. Again, why don't they play him at center all the time?
I would.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge. Who stops that? Who in this league?
And you have good wingers there. There's some talent. Mike Camilleri, former 40 goal scorer.
That was something that was definitely exposed in that game. I'm like, whoa, there is not a whole lot else.
Well, you got like Patty Maroon, Lucic.
Big rig.
Lucic, who's definitely going to get better.
Yeah.
Ryan Strome,
You know what's
RV.
I would take.
Is this
Their
this
wingers
podcast
are
has to be
decent.
impossible to listen to for Oilers fans.
Oh, they're probably yelling at us right
They're
now.
the new team that we find a way to bring up every show.
Yeah.
Now this one's fair. They just played the Leafs.
When is it not fair? They've been a story this year. They should be doing well. And also Cam Talbot's out, so that's not fair. And Laurent Brossoit did a good job.
Maybe it just sticks out because we took like a year hiatus from beating them up. We took a 1 year hiatus.
We never beat them up. We were
don't
like,
think
hey,
we're
man.
beating them up now.
Yeah, we felt the same. Listen, are we saying anything that's untrue? I'm just saying listen, Leon Draisaitl is a great hockey player. But am I saying that they for sure gave in when they shouldn't have? Yeah.
I think they're paying him what you have to pay him in this market. Because I think anybody would pay a 22-year-old who will put up 70 points a year, $8 million.
Could be right.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's not.
Especially with the salary cap going up, I don't think that deal's going to look so bad.
No, you're right.
You know,
Because
you're probably right.
he can only get better, right?
The thing, yeah, I guess
You're
you're
right,
right.
you're
The thing
absolutely
about
right.
deals is the day they're signed, they're their most expensive.
Right.
You know what, Jesse, with the good rational take?
Jesse with the good take.
Jesse with the good take.
Anyway, I just didn't notice him there.
It's interesting, yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, ideally they sign him for less, but they didn't. But you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. The value will go down. Or, no, it will. The value will go up.
The question is,
Sorry.
Of him.
can he
Yes.
put up those numbers without being on Connor McDavid's wing?
I would say that's probably the best place for him.
What, Connor McDavid's wing?
No, not on Connor McDavid's.
Oh man, it would
It
be great
makes
to see
the
what he can
Oilers
do.
a deeper team instantly. And then all of a sudden, like all the wingers they have look better. They're playing with better players. You know what I mean? Drake Kajula, Anton Slepyshev, and the like. I'm just gonna go ahead and name the whole Oilers roster. They got some players that can make a racket. Mm-hmm. Cassian's annoying.
Yep.
Lucic, I mean, he's
It
still
was
got
sort of
it.
a dumb hook on Josh Levo, though.
He's,
That might have been the dumbest penalty I've seen in this year.
He's a little bit legitimately crazy, but like he's I mean, every team's got one of those.
Carroll looked good.
Who? Which one?
Did I not say we're Kara? Jujar.
Oh, Kara.
Yeah.
I thought you said Carrick. I'm like, no, he didn't.
No, Kara.
He was in
Yeah.
the box. Or
Yeah,
he
no.
was in the press box.
I thought he looked good, man. I
He-
was like impressed.
I was tweeting, I thought Oilers fans really dodged a bullet there when they lost Griffin instead of Kara in the expansion draft. I remember saying on the podcast when we got to our teams, I go, I take Jujar Kara. Now imagine how bad they look without him.
Oh, man.
And you might go, what? He's a depth. Again, Leaf fan here, you need that. You need that. Remember when the Leafs paid a very expensive price for 33 games of Brian Boyle because they didn't have that? Yeah, you need that.
Some actual Leafs leaks from Elliot Friedman. There have been rumors that Brendan Shanahan wants to bring back the band in Toronto. That is, keep everyone in the front office in the same positions for at least one more season. But there's no confirmation and a real desire to keep this kind of information very quiet, obviously. Lou is on his last year. I can't see any reason why that wouldn't happen.
Me neither. And I saw some Leaf fans panicking that this means the Leafs are going to hire Dubas. Lose Dubas. Why is this the straw that breaks the camel's back there? Really? Like, surely
he's got 40 years of a career left. Like, it's not like, oh man. I feel like, dude, listen, why not just hang in here for another year? And then, like, we understand that we're veering from the plan a little bit, but things are going really well. Like, I don't understand.
What's the record for oldest human? Like, Lou Lamoriello's, what, is he going to be 75?
Yeah.
At the beginning of next season? Wasn't he 73 when he was hired? He's an old man. Like, he's going to retire, man. He's going to retire. I don't know.
No, I need to go to the Avalanche now.
No.
Yeah, he's
now.
75 right now. So next October, he'll be 76.
Come on.
One more year? I'd do one more year.
Literally one.
Yeah.
But he'll, like, bully time into making him older, though. Like, Lou Lamoriello will know. He'll be like 140. We'll be like, how does he do it? With more Stanley Cup rings than fingers.
Lou, death's coming for you. Death wouldn't dare. At this point, do we say...
You're 140. How'd you do it? I'm not at liberty to... we like to keep it internal. Oh, my God! He has the secret to longevity! He has the fountain of youth, Lou! Please tell us! No, that's...
Sorry, it's an NDA.
Yeah, no comment. The Grim Reaper is found on LTI.
Now that we've successfully questioned everybody beyond the, Connor McDavid in the Oilers organization, and probably...
I'm not done. Fire Tom McClellan.
Pissed off an entire fan base. I do want them to do well. I maintain that. I want the Oilers to do well. The fans deserve it. And I also... No? You're not into it? I'm into it.
Some fans deserve it. Okay. I need to talk to good Oilers fans right now. I know it's going to be hard for you to see this from the outside, but you have no idea how fascinatingly entertaining this is from my perspective. You have no idea. There's woke Oilers Twitter that every day gets out the biggest drum in the world and just pounds that thing, talking about all the issues that there are, all the mistakes the team have made, the mistakes they're going to make, they're on the verge of making, why they're bad, why things aren't working. And there are droves of Oilers fans who watch them lose, watch them with their eyes, who go, no! Absolutely not, nerd shithead moron. Don't you dare talk about my amazing team that's great and not losing all the time. How dare you? Oh, I can't wait to see
because they've just had their thing taken away. They were just given their toy. They were just given their toy. They were just given the playoffs, and now they don't want to admit, and I don't blame them, that it may not happen this year. Can you imagine the Oilers don't go to the playoffs this year?
Jesse, can you look something up for me? Did the Oilers pay a second-round pick for Peter Chiarelli? I'm pretty sure.
Would be a third, wouldn't it?
No.
Second?
I think it was a second. I know the Leafs gave up 2/3.
They did not. The Edmonton Oilers currently have all of their draft picks through 2020.
But, like, did they maybe already lose that pick? Because, like, the Leafs already lost one of their picks for
last year.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because the Leafs had to pay a third for Lou and a third for Babcock. I'm pretty sure the cost for Chiarelli was a second to Boston. And I think that might be part of the reason how Boston got those 3 consecutive first-round picks that one year. I think they did. I don't know. The Oilers, good Oilers fans, woke Oilers fans, woke Oilers Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I have no other option but to thoroughly enjoy this. It's fascinating from the outside. Again,
here
I know what being the cartoony joke looks like, and it's so good not being that.
But I want them not to be.
Good.
I want the Oilers to win, man. I want them to win.
But it's so good.
I want McDavid versus Matthews. First off, I want Matthews to play when that happens.
You know what?
But I want it to be good.
There's so many people on Twitter where I'm like, God, every time the Oilers lose, my heart just bleeds for you. I feel so bad. And all the comments below it are people who I'm like, not an ounce of sympathy. I hope your team loses 82 consecutive games next year.
Jesse.
You deserve it.
Despite relieving the Bruins of outstanding salary obligations to their fired GM, Chiarelli's acquisition by the Oilers came at an additional cost, as the Canadian club was forced to part with a second-round draft pick under the NHL's wrong-headed executive compensation policy.
What a dumb policy that was.
Okay, rock-headed? Who wrote this?
This is from the Edmonton Journal.
Stoffer?
Bruce McCurdy.
Bruce McCurdy. I met him when I was in Edmonton a few years ago.
There you go.
Hey, speaking of Edmonton.
Well, I was going to ask Steve, how did you score the majority of your NHL goals? You've said all this stuff, and I just wanted to know how you scored the majority of your NHL goals. I told you guys Mark Spector was on fire. And did he light things up.
Can you explain the entire situation?
Well, okay. Justin Bourne from The Athletic said, my least favorite breakaway move is backhand 5-hole. Even when it works, it's the goalie's fault. So many more effective moves. And that was in response to Connor McDavid's backhand 5-hole move, I believe, on McElhinney.
McElhinney played brilliantly because he opened up, but had a stick down.
So Bourne tweeted that on, that would have been Sunday?
Sunday. And then 2 hours later, Mark Spector responds, how did you score the majority of your NHL goals? Forgetting the fact that
he tweeted at him directly, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Justin Bourne, remember, did play in the
college,
AHL.
ECHL, AHL. I think he had an NHL exhibition game. His dad was Bob Bourne. Cups.
And then Spector apologized.
I know.
He did apologize.
He did.
He said, and I believe he said the response, he didn't mean to disparage Justin's hockey playing career. But what I liked about the apology is he didn't apologize for the remark itself.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like either. So, I didn't realize Justin had the hockey playing acumen that he did when I made that comment. The actual apology would be, you know what? I shouldn't talk that way to people who have an opinion about hockey.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it verbatim?
Yeah, read it verbatim.
Yeah.
All right. An apology to JT Bourne for my shoddy tweet. I had no knowledge of his college/pro hockey career when I questioned his NHL goal-scoring acumen. My ignorance. As such, the tweet unfairly disparaged his hockey career. My fault entirely. Poor work on my part. Justin, apologies.
Now,
and he deleted the previous tweet.
Yeah, he got ratioed hard. He got ratioed so hard. I don't know exactly how hard because they took away one of the decimal points, but he got ratioed very hard.
Between 10 and 50.
I asked someone after that happened. I go, wait, is he just taking the piss and like he knows Bourne? And they go, no. And I go, the balls.
Man.
Imagine the balls. Oh, Spec.
I just think, too,
it was sort of like when I first read Ken Campbell's tweet, when I see it and I go, you're about to have a bad night. You're about to have a terrible time.
Yep.
There's only one way this can end.
So here's what this comes on the heels of, and this is what's so interesting. Is Mark Spector not the head of the Professional Hockey Writers Association?
Yeah, and I would love to know. Sorry, go ahead. I think we're walking down the same path.
Were they not complaining about a harmless tweet from the Vegas Golden Knights not 2 days earlier?
I disagree that it's harmless, but we'll get to that.
Harmless tweet. It's harmless. It's Twitter.
We'll
Good
get to that.
Lord.
We'll get to that.
A harmless tweet, in my opinion.
Okay.
From the Vegas Golden Knights not 2 days before about players from a specific team, Nashville being the team. Journalists from covering Nashville being fans of Nashville.
Yeah, that was Friday.
Yeah.
And I know because I read it on the train. Oh my God.
If you tweet something like that.
It's like 48 hours.
This harmless tweet from Vegas.
Allegedly.
Which, understandably, I think pissed off a lot of people.
There you go.
And then you have a guy coming in and then I just wonder you can't be expected to be a journalist all the time if you're a journalist. I don't think. Can you? But I don't know.
If you're a pizza delivery guy, do you just mid-delivery go to the mall? You're a pizza delivery guy. Do your job.
I'm just wondering what's the debate there? Is there a debate? Or is it just nyeh?
I'll tell you what it is. Well, it's definitely nyeh. I think it's hard to be a beat reporter for a shitty team.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
It's hard. And say that, Oilers fans go, what the... Listen, I think it's hard to be a beat reporter for a shitty team. Having seen Leaf fans, Leaf fans, Leaf reporters, hell of a Freudian slip there. Having seen people who cover the team on a beat the years before Austin Matthews. The year they finished last, I mean, I don't think that's actually that hard. Really, you're writing, they were expected to be bad. You're writing about the rebuild and how it's going. You're writing about how individual players are doing, the young guys, puff pieces. You're writing about how the guys who are definitely going to get traded at the deadline are good guys. Like, I don't think that's hard. The Horacek 55-game run was murder on those guys. What do you talk about? You can't... There's a certain beauty to being able to do what I do. Because I get to jump off the walls and do little sketches with toys and put on an army hat and a tank and get into televised arguments with Nick Capriels. It's hilarious. It's a silly, goofy, dumb life. If you're a beat reporter, what do you do other than talk about 55 games of endless shit? That's what that was. They won 11 times in 55 games. Endless, merciless shit. And I had a reporter come up to me, they shall remain nameless, at the beginning of the next season. And they went, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. And I'm like, what the good to meet you? What the? They're like, your videos are the only thing that got me through last season. I go, really? Oh, me and my wife.
Oh, wow.
Watch them after every game. This is someone who talks to these guys on a regular basis. It's hard to cover a shitty team.
So do you think that's just frustration then? And it was just...
Yes.
It came out in the moment, heat of the moment. Toronto media, Justin's Toronto media. Mm-hmm. And they're probably had enough of us going, wow, this team is so great. Check out the Marlies and how great they are. Oh, here's another piece on how great the team is.
And some people misconstrued some of the stuff I said about King Campbell as excusing it. I'm not. I'm simply trying to be like, okay, where did this come from?
Right.
Right?
Look at things in the end, So
bad is bad
so
is
we
bad.
mark it up to frustration. Any apology?
Mark it up.
We speculated that it was that it was some frustration. And that, people make mistakes and we've all tweeted dumb things, right?
It's hard when I think, not just endless shit. Like, imagine a decade of shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then a goal away from third round of the playoffs. Then back to... That's so hard.
So you guys are okay with Vegas's tweet?
Listen.
He is.
So
now,
can I just read
let's read it out again.
So Vegas tweeted... The other team scored, and reporters covering their team started clapping. And then they did a little half smiley face, where you're kind of like,
yeah,
the side eye.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Jim Diamond tweeted this. On behalf of the Nashville media, we thought it was important to request an apology and retraction from Vegas for their irresponsible tweet. Below is the copy sent to their media relations department. And the copy sent to them was, I'm writing this on behalf of the Professional Hockey Writers Association chapter of Nashville, as well as our entire media corps. We take exception to the irresponsible tweet copied below. And then the tweet is disrespectful to our credentialed media, and we would like a public apology and retraction from the Golden Knights Twitter account.
I mean, I can see why.
Oh,
I can see
come
why.
on. I was ready for a fight.
I can
The
see why.
tweet was a little offensive.
Well, I mean, it calls into question their integrity, and a journalist's integrity is what they have. That's all they have. And I think I get that. And it's really, it called their integrity into question for really no reason. It was just a tweet to get some retweets, right?
Here,
What if they weren't lying? What if there was somebody there clapping?
Oh, I wouldn't think that would happen.
I don't know.
You ever been in a press box for a game?
No, I've never
It is
been.
eerily quiet.
No,
Like,
I've
it's
never been.
uncomfortable.
So it was a bad joke.
It's a bad joke, and that's why I thought it was harmless. I'm like, it's a bad joke.
I've seen a reporter cheer in a press box.
You have not.
It was a Marlies press box, though. And it was
Oh.
years ago. In an NHL press box, never.
Never.
They barely bat an eye when a goal is scored. Never. I mean, I've had very few opportunities.
Right.
But even the World Cup of hockey, none of that. Unless they were completely, I have seen it, but it wasn't a reporter. It was like they were decked out in the team's gear, and it's clearly like someone who just works for one of the teams.
One thing I've heard is that at
That's
the Olympics, all of that is out the window. And other countries openly cheer for their
that's shocking.
countries. Yeah.
That is shocking. And the World Cup, too. There was
soccer?
Wasn't there a viral video of like the Italian guy
just
crying?
jumping on. Yeah, I remember that. That was the last World Cup. Yeah. So apparently, journalists
That
they
may
threw it
just
out the
be
window for the Olympics.
who knows based on your culture, based on what what the standards and practices are in your particular country. I understand why it offended them. I just thought
irresponsible.
I thought yes, irresponsible for sure. But what I thought my reaction in saying it's harmless is to the massive response on Twitter about it.
It was a little much.
It was like, again, all I could think of was you going, there's stories about...
Excuse me, everybody, but our integrity was called into question. Not the national media.
That's what I was like, oh my God. And then every team...
All we have in this profession is our integrity.
Every media member from every market had to weigh in and go, I am not a fan. No, not I. And I was like, oh my God. Like, guys, it was a tweet. Yeah. It was a tweet.
Listen.
I understand Nashville. I understand the Nashville media wanting to get the retraction. I get that. But at a certain point, are we not overanalyzing it? Nobody's accusing every journalist that ever existed and picked up a pen and paper and a keyboard to say, you're all fans.
Wait, no one's accusing who?
The journalist?
Who, me? Again, I'm sitting there on the train, and I just go, they're about to have a bad time. They're about to have a very bad time.
I guess the reaction, I understand, because I guess if your own personal credibility is brought into question, but there was a lot of people weighing in who really had nothing to do with it. And
Absolutely
I was like,
nothing to do with it. But it was three
But I
things.
too am a journalist.
It was the perfect storm. Yeah. You called a journalist's integrity into question? Why? I am a journalist. How dare you, sir? Dish. Now, okay.
Was that a glove slap?
It was just a straight up backhand.
Oh, just dish. Okay. Skin to skin.
It was three things. It was three big problems, okay? One, it was a joke that bombed.
Yeah.
Which happens all the time.
Listen to this show.
Oh my God.
We are the show that bombs.
You know how many times I listen back to this show and there is a silence that is maybe 0.8 of a second, and I just go, oof. Like,
we should have a bad joke playback. Like, we just pick up the bad jokes over the course of the last month and go.
It's just an audience booing. Boo. Like, no, it's one guy. Boo.
Yep.
Okay, it was a joke that bombed, and it's hard. Everyone rips on the Vegas Twitter account.
It's hard to create. They're trying to create a personality.
Yeah, they've gone a very tough angle where the Leafs every now and then will throw in a little bit of personality, but it's mostly just.
But remember, the Leafs don't need to.
No, they don't really need to.
They're the freaking Leafs, man.
Well, and
Vegas is brand new.
Their Twitter, the Leafs' Twitter and Vegas' Twitter represent their teams. The personality that those teams are trying to have. The Leafs are trying to be, we're all about winning here. We're trying to develop a culture of winning. Mm-hmm. And we're all about winning.
Why did you go Barack Obama?
I didn't mean to.
You did.
That was a little
Brock.
bit. I just wanted to say that we're going to win the cup. Matthews is going to get first. And we're going to give it to Tyler Bozak third, as we discussed on that clip that you uploaded recently. I don't do a good Barack.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, man.
I like it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it.
You work on that for like a couple of days? 10 out of 10.
All right. Yeah.
You're only
SNL, here I come.
Yeah.
Damn it. That won't cause problems. That won't be a terrible mistake. So anyway, the Leafs are all about winning and professionalism and eyes on the prize. Vegas, Sin City, they're trying to be all about fun. Mm-hmm. They're trying to be nothing but jokes. And the thing about putting jokes out there all the time is some of them suck. This one bombed. The other thing.
There was 3 things, right? So there's one.
That's one.
That's one. 2.
The other thing, did you not see during the playoffs last year how much the entire hockey media world especially adores Nashville? That's part of the, okay, so.
We were part of that.
Absolutely. There were 2 reasons why everyone came out and supported. The first was, who, me? The second was, no one talks about the Nashville media that way. Those are my friends.
Nobody puts Nashville in a corner.
No one puts Nashville in the corner. I went to a bar with cowboy boots and a wood floor with those people. How dare you? I went to a bar where there was like a table with salt on it, and we played a game. I forget what it was called.
Shuffleboard.
Yeah. I saw there was a real, still functioning jukebox. We put $20 in it and danced until the sun came up. How dare you? The third thing, could Vegas have gotten away with that joke if it was about the Toronto media?
Ooh, no.
I think the answer is yes.
it would have been worse.
The backlash would have been from Toronto.
And it would have been 10 times worse.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to stay neutral. I don't know.
Fans of other teams would have found it funny. Edmonton, Calgary, all the Canadian teams, for sure. Sens fans, yuck, yuck, yuck. Slapping their knee till it's red. That it would have been at very least it would have been at least a nose laugh.
Yeah.
Because Toronto media and their homer. There's an implied thing about the Toronto media. Okay? That well at the same time, it's a hard place to play, and they're homers. Can't be both, folks. Can't be, well, or maybe it can. There's enough media members that it could be, I guess. But there's an implied thing. What about if they made that joke about the Oilers media? We make that joke every show. What's it going to take to criticize Chris Russell? And that was a relatively recent thing. If Vegas goes, oh, yeah, the Oilers media was clapping in the press box, I'd have laughed. Would you?
I still think the media would have gotten upset.
The Oilers media would have.
Yeah, and I think there's so much more Toronto media that more people would have gotten upset.
Do you think...
Just Toronto, though.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be randomly coming out of Montreal and defending.
But I think there's so much Toronto media that it would seem triple full.
But the fans would back them up, at very least. And
the fans of other teams, Toronto fans, would have been still as upset as Nashville fans.
Who hates the Toronto media more than Toronto fans?
It's true, man. I have to be honest with you.
And they hate them. Like, oh, friggin' Kiprios and this guy. I get people telling me, like, tell Kiprios to this and that and the other. I'm like, man, I know him.
Yeah. What's Kiprios? I love this. What's Kiprios like? I don't like him.
Yeah. Always. Always.
Like he's awesome. Honestly, I don't know if you don't like his opinions or not, but he's a really great guy.
But I don't like him. Tell me about it.
But it's like Mark Spector. If you base your likes on Mark Spector's Twitter, he seems like a cantankerous guy, but when you meet him, he's really nice.
Dangle.
Yeah.
He's like,
just a really warm dude.
We got to have him on the show.
Yeah.
No, and the third thing, well, sorry, this was in the middle of the third thing. It was Nashville. If you say that about the Leafs fans, Leafs media, again, Oilers media, maybe even like some Habs media, just because they're known as so kooky sometimes, parts of them, I think you get away with that joke. But Nashville? I don't know anything about them. Like, they just seem like quiet.
Yeah, why are you picking on sweet old Nashville?
Yeah. Quiet, professional pros.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim Diamond, Adam Vingen, and they just kind of put their head down and do their job. Why them? Like, if you picked your spot there, it might have worked. You still might have had to apologize for it in the end. But fans en masse would have been like, come on! And at very least, you have fan support, which is what they're going for.
Well, what I loved was the general outrage, and yet Vegas was the only account that made the claim. No fans were going, or at least from what I saw, no fans were going, yeah, like agreeing with it. Most fans were like
agreeing with, haha, they
sure caught
cheered.
Those media guys. Like it was like one Twitter account made that thing, and it felt like the entire industry had to respond. It was like, okay, guys, like
it was a little much.
Like it was just, okay, we get it.
And there was another shitty thing about that whole thing is, so you made the point right at the beginning, rightfully so, that this was 2 days, the Spectre thing to Justin happened 2 days after the PHWA requested an apology from a hockey team, right? But people were, I guess it was after the whole Spectre Bourne thing. We're going, the PHWA can dish it out, but they can't take it, and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, again.
Mark Spector does not represent that whole organization.
No, and you know how many people are in the PHWA?
But yeah, there's a lot.
It's crazy. There's a lot of people. And again, what does this have to do with Nashville? If it was a Nashville writer that went after Bourne, yeah, that makes sense. If Jim Diamond was like, yeah, Justin Bourne, well, your backhand sucks. It's no match for my backhand. I call it the Diamondback because it'll get you.
What?
The Diamondback.
No.
Because it'll get you. Yeah. No one is a match for Jim Diamondback Diamond. Why did I make him into like Jake the Snake Roberts?
I don't know. I don't know why the Diamondback will get you either.
It will get you.
I don't know.
Get it? Because it's like a snake or something, I think. Or is it a spider? I don't remember.
I don't think a Diamondback is a thing.
I think the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's got to mean something. It's not the back of a diamond. I don't think.
To all the writers,
get you, though?
To all the writers who do listen to this show, let me just say this:
We love you.
We know you guys.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking hard gig, and I have all the respect in the world for people who do it.
How many of them right now are going, I'm not going to take shit from some asshole who works from home in his pajamas.
Well, that's fine. Whatever. Listen,
in his empire of toys.
Like a Diamondback is
it a snake?
It's a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
It'll get you.
It'll get you.
The Diamondback Diamond backhander.
Okay. Yeah.
The Diamond backhander.
Diamondback. All right.
It'll get you. No, if he had said it.
Can we sell T-shirts that say the Diamondback?
Yeah. And give him none of the royalties.
The snake on it?
None.
The Diamondback will get you. And put Jim's face on it.
But just like cartoonize a little bit.
Yeah.
And copyright, it's fine.
And then sell socks.
Yeah.
Diamondback socks.
Diamondback socks. Back socks. We'll just call them back socks. Same.
All right, so Diamondback socks coming next Christmas.
If he had said something, it would have been.
No, we'll rush order those right now. The people shall have their Diamondback socks.
They'll get you.
They'll get you. Oh, go out and get them before they get you. Back socks.
Diamondback
socks. Yeah, but once they're popular enough, people will shorten it to back socks.
Right.
But the full official name is Jim Diamondback Socks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if he had said it, I would understand that criticism, but to lump the whole PHWA
Oh, that's crazy.
it's dumb.
And by the way, I just want to say again, as I was about to say before, Diamondback socks.
It'll get you. Jim Diamond.
We genuinely, I'm reading 10, 15 articles a day. Like, I'm reading tons and tons. I have so much respect for members of the PWHA, members who are not, who still write. It is a tough gig, and I understand being upset about that on behalf of other colleagues. But let's all take a break. It's a bad joke and it bombed. And I just kept waiting for somebody to say, well, that was a bad joke and it bombed.
Well, okay, then I guess it's number 4. It's a bad joke, it bombed, wrong subject, and they just did that Boston thing.
Oh, yeah.
With the Ted reference that everyone got upset about, where they put all the...
Well, that was like a month and a half ago, man. That was a while ago now.
It happened.
How many Twitter accounts do you hear getting in trouble?
You're
this
right.
is the only one, and this is the second time.
And that one, the first one was so boneheaded and stupid. Like, how did you not see that coming?
Like,
you freaking dummy. Come
you
on.
have all the leash in the world. You're a brand new team.
Yeah.
And then with that one tweet, your leash is shortened. And
Yeah.
And
then,
now what?
And now the standard is retract. That's 2 retractions before Christmas. That's pretty good. That's
probably 2 more than every other NHL Twitter account has ever had.
It's true. Like the Kings are the ones with real personalities too, right?
well. People. I was trying to think.
Kings
Like, people
never
got
really-
mad at them, but like I don't think they ever had to
said
apologize.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, and they shouldn't have.
No.
As far
Double
as,
down.
Unless I'm forgetting something.
Double down. When you're
Anyway.
wrong, double down anyway.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Canucks, which I was trying to do about 25 minutes ago, because we've just pissed off the entire Oilers fan base and probably media too. I want to talk about
We should have them on.
at what point Oh, I want to have him on.
Yeah.
And I want to know what's wrong with the Oilers in his view. And I want him to say things like, the Oilers just quit.
But Canucks.
Canucks. At this point, do we say great run Canucks, it might be over?
Okay, so what has their record been of late?
Well, they lost.
It's difficult to keep up.
5-1 last night. Ooh. But they currently sit...
Didn't Besser have the one, though?
Yeah. He's still amazing.
16th?
They're 14-3-4. They've got 32 points. If you were to put them in the Eastern Conference, they would be... Like, if they were to put them in the Atlantic Division, they'd be in a playoff spot. But the West is harder than that. They're 2 points out of a playoff spot. They're 2-3 in their last 5.
It's funny. Like,
But
I know,
They've lost 3 in a row, and they're 4-5-1 in their last 10.
I know we're...
And Horvat's out, right?
And Horvat's out. Yeah.
For a while.
I know we're past the Jesse point of too early, which is American Thanksgiving. But for a fringe playoff team, is it too early to be saying those sort of
Might be
things?
too early. I just wanted to ask. I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Is this the point, or do we...
Having Horvat out's bad. That's very bad.
Do you think they're exactly where they are? They are who we thought they were?
And we let him off the hook?
We didn't
You know
let
what?
them off the hook.
This is exactly where I probably would have pegged them.
Yeah.
No, I would have had them lower than this.
Oh,
To be honest with you,
But
man,
they're there.
They're fourth from last.
they're
Where?
2 points out of a playoff spot.
Like in the league?
No, in their conference, fourth from last.
Yeah, but what does that mean? You just said they're 2 points back
2
from a playoff
points.
spot.
2 points back of Calgary, which holds the last playoff spot. Colorado's 2 points behind them, and then you've got Edmonton and then Arizona.
Yeah, but it's a conga line there. Like
Yeah.
I know fourth from last. It sounds terrible.
Well, look,
but
I mean,
like they're-
Anaheim's 33, Chicago's 33, Minnesota's 33, and then the line, and then Calgary wild card at 34, Dallas wild card 35.
Oh my God, they're right there.
yeah.
They're right there.
Okay.
But
Play's got to. They got to get it
Horvat.
together soon. Horvat hurts.
you know what we haven't talked about on the show? The Jordan Subban trade. And I got pooped on a little bit.
Why?
I made Vancouver Canucks fans angry because I said, "Wow, that's a bad trade." And I don't know. I think I stick by it. I maybe don't say, "Wow, that's a bad trade," but like I just don't understand. Like Jim Dowd is, I don't know, it's a stopgap because of an injury for the Canucks, who I was under the impression were rebuilding. But you know what I didn't consider when I said that is, let's say it all crumbles down. It all falls down for the Canucks. They could just flip out at the deadline if they really needed to.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of teams need a guy like that at the deadline. My issue was giving up on a guy like Jordan Subban this early. Righty on D. He's only 22. That's not that old. He's struggled badly this season. No goals, 5 assists in 16 games, but back-to-back 36-point seasons as a 20 and 21-year-old. I feel like okay, a lot of Canucks fans were like, well, we're getting a surefire NHLer endowed, and we got some magic beans with Subban. I get that, but I just feel like those magic beans might actually
Become something.
become a beanstalk.
And Dowd's not playing above the third line ever, right?
I don't think so. I mean, unless there's an injury.
In 16 games, he has 1 assist.
Yeah, like
He's
you
played
gave
90
up.
games in his career. He's 27.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't see. Apparently his fancies are good, like his
Oh,
fancy stats,
I
but
don't know anything about him.
no, me neither. I was like, who is that? When the trade happened, I just feel like, yes, you get a known commodity, but you're giving up on potentially an eventual NHL right-handed defenseman, which is worth its weight in gold. You know, it's so hard to find a player like that. Yeah, but now every Subban brother has been moved.
Yeah, it's true. Wow.
Yeah, Malcolm wasn't traded, but
James Reimer not cutting it in Florida.
that's a shame.
This is what Elliot Friedman had to say. I can't imagine Florida will wait too much longer to wade into the goalie pool either, and I think they are looking for someone youngish who might be their future.
God, that's such a bummer. Like, you want to talk about a team that is spending far too much on goaltending to have this issue? Florida.
We thought they had it locked down.
Poor James. What's the matter with James? I haven't.
And what does if
Seen
okay
too
so
much of 'em.
so Toronto suddenly has this quote unquote strength at goaltending, right?
It's
Garrett
kinda
Sparks,
great.
Calvin Pickard, Casimir Cassuso is with the Chicago Wolves, I believe.
Yep.
So
And 41 save shutout monster, Curtis McElhinney.
Well, that's do you help Florida out and make a trade, or do you go, no, I'm going to hang on to this because
Yeah, if it's too much.
too much to turn down.
Yeah, no, like if you have decided Florida's paying too much for this guy, all right, cool. But I don't know, why would you give up either of Pickard or Sparks?
I don't know. I just don't understand that.
To a divisional rival? No, thank you. You. No, I don't feel like it. If a team like Edmonton comes knocking, or who are the 3 teams that were listed as needing goaltending or looking for goaltending?
Well, Florida, Edmonton for sure.
Yeah. I think there was another one. Yeah.
From 31 times?
I think so.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
And there's so much of basically this whole show is like a recap of because there's so much that he put there.
It's so good though.
So I just
Best show prep
yeah, really
in the league.
I look at Florida though, and I think I don't know what they could give us. That's within reason. Like Aaron Ekblad would be fantastic, but it's never going to happen.
No.
What can Florida give you that that would be better than having 2 stellar goaltenders in the AHL and have a overperforming backup goaltender, which is totally fine by me, and a starting goaltender who's doing
Like
really
you'd
well?
have to give up I don't even know. It's so strange because let's say it's Pickard. You have such an immediate reference point for what Calvin Pickard costs.
Yeah.
But then again, Vegas's goals are different than Toronto's. I don't know. And with Sparks, potentially being day-to-day or whatever with an injury, I mean,
Why would you trade?
yeah, it's all the more reason not to do that.
Sabres are going to make moves. They said don't ask about Jack Eichel, but Sam Reinhart, Rasmus Ristolainen, and Marco Scandella are...
They just got.
The price is high, but
Ooh.
they say they won't consider... They wouldn't not consider offers. And also, Patrick Kane and Benoit Pouliot are both on expiring deals. Not Patrick Kane, Evander Kane. Right. Thank you, sir.
I don't think Evander Kane lasts the season in Buffalo.
No, I don't think...
Did you see the overtime winner the other day?
Yes.
Oh.
He's like most likely to be traded, I would think, in the league.
And that'd be his 4th team in how many seasons?
Well, Atlanta, Winnipeg doesn't count.
Oh, yeah. I guess that doesn't count.
So, yeah, Winnipeg, Buffalo. I guess it'd be 3rd.
No, fine. Fine.
Can you believe this is his 4th team? Who's going to say that? Someone's going to say that.
Yeah. I almost said it. So.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. It's his 4th team now. That's going to be great.
There was an article yesterday posted in the Calgary Sun, which, even being out there, the Sun here in Toronto, the Sun out in Calgary, they like to get your attention.
I thought there was only one sun. It's like in the sky.
Oh.
I thought the sun.
Good Lord. No, actually, there's many, okay? Your heliocentric model.
Congrats on being a father, Jesse.
So in that article done by Eric Francis, who has worked with Hockey Night in Canada and he's been a writer for Sportsnet and I believe still is, he says that for sure, if the arrogant, and he called him arrogant in the article, Naheed Nenshi, mayor of Calgary, doesn't change his attitude, the Calgary Flames will be sold to Houston within the next 3 years. Now, what is interesting about that is James Myrtle responded, and James explained.
Oh, I did not see that.
What's wrong with this piece? So you should read the whole piece. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but I wanted to tell you that part because James said...
Did the stick to sports crowd jump all over it?
No, I don't.
No. Weird.
James said, here's the thing that's mistaken in this piece. Flames ownership do not, based on the precedent set in Atlanta, get to sell to whatever market they want to and profit hugely. Atlanta's owners received only a portion of the sales price to Winnipeg. This is because Bettman explicitly said the Atlanta ownership group did not own the rights to the Winnipeg market, just as Murray Edwards and company don't own the rights to Houston. They can't cash out of Calgary for $600 million US. The NHL and the Flames are going to trot out all kinds of Houston, Seattle boogeyman here to try to get as much of an arena paid for as they can. That's about all this is. I will be stunned if they leave Calgary, which is a top 10, 15 hockey market worldwide. And I agree. There's no way they're leaving Calgary. And they're doing the same thing that Daryl Cates was doing when Daryl Cates and the Oilers group were doing when we were out there and they were negotiating the Rogers Arena deal, which was, you know what? We might just have to move them.
Worked for them.
Sure did.
Way to go. Way to screw it up for everybody there, Daryl. And your hockey team. From Boomer and Warner.
Which is the morning show at Sportsnet 960 in Calgary.
Stephen Brunt was on. and this is from that account, from their official account. Stephen Brunt on why the Flames won't leave Calgary. You can't just move teams in the NHL. You can't just sell them and have them move.
This isn't the NFL, kids.
Yeah. The NHL generally doesn't like to move into markets where they might be able to get $700 million for an expansion team. The NHL also doesn't like to close off escape routes for teams in real trouble, like, say, Arizona, that's going to need a place to go. You can float that stuff about how they'll be forced to move. It's pretty easy, but there are several compelling reasons why it's almost certainly not true. Everyone, this is Steve talking now. Dangle, Glenn, whatever. Everyone, can we put on our friggin' big boy pants and figure out Calgary? Because I'm bored. I'm so bored of this shit. And I'm sure, you know who's more bored? Flames fans.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
I bet they're building up a lot of goodwill with their fan base right now.
The response from Flames fans is so interesting because they are so not for paying this arena. They are like, no, we're not going to pay twice because they'd have to pay in their tickets and their taxes. Why would they want to do that?
Well, and I've seen a few people argue against that logic, but it's not.
That's not the culture out there, man. They don't like that. They don't like a millionaire blatantly ripping off the city.
No one should.
Yeah.
No one should.
They're anal about public spending, which you should be.
You should worry about where your dollars go.
Absolutely.
You work hard for your money.
I don't blame them at all. It's quite heartening to watch because of what's happened with the Atlanta baseball deal, with some of the things we heard about Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. Just there has been some really bad deals done in the States lately.
I just want to freaking figure it out because I'm so sick of hearing about it.
Well, how about this? I'm going to ask you a question about another Canadian market.
The Sens, fold them. No?
No, the Habs.
When
an owner has to come out and say his GM has his full support, that usually means the GM's in trouble, right?
Usually, but there's no Canada. Like French Canada, SMS Canada, Insuland. And the other Canada is opposing Canada. If you live here for one day, you'd understand.
Jeff Molson has officially come out and said that Marc Bergevin has his full support.
Good.
Now, I don't know if you guys read this, but Andrei Markov did a little interview about what his negotiations were in Montreal this summer. Now, this is crazy. It was in Le Journal de Montréal. And it's a
Montreal Journal.
Yeah, a guy named Jonathan Bernier.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Not actually him, but he's a journalist named Jonathan Bernier.
No, it is actually him.
Oh, it is.
It's just a different name. Or a different person.
Different person.
Same name. I'll let you talk.
Okay, that's really confusing, Steve. So essentially, Jonathan Bernier, the journalist, asked Andrei Markov about this. And, I think, what did he finish? Like 10 games away from the 1,000-game mark or something like that with Montreal?
An incredibly long career.
They are very mad. Very, very bad about Marc Bergevin. So Sergei Berezin, former Leaf, was Andrei Markov's agent.
Oh, really?
And he was decertified by the NHL as an agent. So Andrei Markov decided to represent himself. And here's what he had to say. His wife is actually in on the interview, and she said the Canadiens were Andrei's family and Montreal was his home. When people ask him where he's from, he tells them from Voskresensk, Russia.
Oh, boy.
You try to read that. Voskresensk.
Damn, Voskresensk.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's my shitty North American way
He
of
tells
doing
people
it.
he's from Russia, but his home is in Montreal, is what his wife said, which I think is quite nice. Now, here's what Markov had to say. As an athlete and as a person who spent 16 years of their life in Montreal, I would have liked it if they'd respected me. That's all I was asking for from the team. I'm going to be honest with you. There was practically no negotiations with Montreal. I got 2 or 3 offers, and they said either you sign or you don't. No one listened to me. No one wanted to listen to me. That's what happened. So I had the choice to sign on their terms or leave them and find a new team. And he left and found a new team. Now, doesn't that sound suspiciously like PK? And what PK Subban said not a month ago to The Athletic about his dealings with Marc Bergevin and the Montreal Canadiens when his contract was up.
Desharnais was dumping on the team recently. Danny Briere was dumping on the team recently. Michel Therrien told him he was a useless piece of crap.
No one respected him. Just throwing that out there.
It's almost like it's a scenario I can imagine where Subban being the culture problem on the Montreal Canadiens was not the case. He's gone. He's been gone. What's the problem?
And it's funny, the team he went to haven't had a culture issue. In fact, you could argue they are the biggest growing culture fans and team in the league.
Nah.
One of the most healthy
It's
expansion
not like
markets
the
ever.
entire hockey world went to bat for them a couple of days ago.
Well, but rightfully so.
I don't know. It's just all those things you heard about him, this, that, and the other. Hey, maybe they were true. I'll even give you that. Maybe he did do this and do that and do that. There's still a problem. When's your next Subban for Weber trade? Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't have one left to make? Fire the GM, stupid! But don't. I love the Sens being the way they are. I love the Habs being the way they are. The day we recorded that podcast, Jesse, and I'm pointing at you because Adam wasn't there, unfortunately, I said the Atlantic Division was a bunch of clown cars.
Mm-hmm. Has been.
Look at the standings. Look at the standings.
Are they clown cars?
I mean,
It's like Tampa Bay and Toronto on good goaltending.
I shouldn't have called it clown cars because clown cars are crowded. The Atlantic playoff picture is not. That is the big difference. Tampa, the Leafs. I will give the Bruins the respect they deserve because I don't think people thought they'd be in this position. They've battled injuries and they have games in hand. They're doing very well. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, I'm just saying. It's almost like no issues, zero issues got fixed by that trade. We just won the division. Shut up. What have you done for me lately? You stink.
I'm going to read you a tweet before we go to press conference, and this is a little bit more serious. So I'm setting you up.
Oh boy.
But I'm going to leave it without comment because I think the tweet says it all.
Oh boy.
Stasia Robitaille, who is Luke Robitaille's wife of 25 years. I was once in an elevator with @real Donald Trump and a man with him at Madison Square Gardens. I'm assuming this is when Luke played with the Rangers. He was aggressive and told me I was coming home with him. I laughed, stated I was married to a Ranger. He guaranteed me my husband didn't make as much money as him. And she signed it with #ThisIsOurPresident. So that just came out while we were on the show, so I figured we should talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, or I figured we should just bring it up.
Really?
So I'm presenting that without comment. Let's go to break, shall we? Right?
Not
Press
break.
conference?
We don't have
Here.
breaks.
I'll provide a comment. The President of the United States is a piece of shit.
Done. Press conference.
The presser.
We had 3 fun things to
The
get, silly
Steve
things to
Dangle
get to.
press
but
conference.
we don't have time for them. One of them was
Good.
We
Let's
get
end
time.
on that note.
the new Bachelor bios are out. That was one.
We can do that next
2,
episode.
the NCAA lacrosse draft names are out.
Oh, come on.
And 3, some bros in Los Angeles trolled a courthouse.
I saw that.
So those 3 funny things we had to get to. I guess we can do none of them.
Oh, what? Can we actually? Because I got to stay. I didn't realize this, but I got to stay.
I don't think we have time.
I got a text her.
I
on the
don't
show.
think
That
we
was
have
the
time,
text.
Steve.
I don't think we have time.
No.
So on Thursday,
That's what we'll do.
we'll do funny things.
Are we recording at a different time on Thursday or something?
A little earlier.
A little earlier?
Like
Oh,
2
that's right.
hours.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
4th thing that we can get to. So we got 1 out of 4. Jake Smallwood was traded.
Hey, our boy.
I was going to clap it. I don't know if it's a good thing.
The the Kootenai Ice.
Kootenai.
Kootenai.
The Kootenai Ice.
The Kootenai Ice.
They play in Texas.
They acquired Jake Smallwood and a conditional 3rd-round draft pick from the Warriors for some other guy who's not Jake Smallwood.
Very great way of putting it.
So congratulations to our first ever professional hockey player to appear on this podcast.
That's true.
Oh, no, I guess.
He's not pro yet.
Yeah, it's not pro.
But when he does
He will
turn
be.
pro,
Yeah.
he'll be the first.
And did we have him on before Ben Scrivens?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh. Future Kootenai Ice star.
Hootenanny.
Ben Scrivens, who, by the way, allowed the fastest goal in KHL history.
Oh, heavens. Did you see?
Poor Ben. I'm sorry
He's
for
also
laughing.
won like goalie of the week a couple times.
But like fastest goal ever.
That's going to be hard to break.
Yeah. Okay.
Questions.
Poor guy.
Brendan from Sobeys wrote on our Reddit
Oh, hey, Brendan
Brendan
for
from
Sobeys.
Sobeys.
that his cousin was the other guy in the Jake and Smallwood deal.
Whoa!
He said, "How proud should I be that my cousin got traded for Jake and Smallwood?"
Oh, very proud.
That's small
Very
world.
proud.
Small
I mean,
wood.
You're.
Small.
Am I right?
I don't think we come back from that.
That was unnecessary. That was very unnecessary.
Come on, that was pretty quick.
No.
Come on.
Anyways,
On behalf of the Jesse and I chapter of the Steve Dangle podcast, I demand a retraction and apology.
I guess last thing. It's December, and we haven't done our Stanley Cup predictions yet.
Oh.
Our way too early Stanley Cup prediction is starting to get not way too early, but it's starting to get. It's here now. So we need to do another month.
Well,
And whoever's keeping track of that little chart you made on Twitter,
Yeah, keep doing that.
keep doing that. Here's another
Please.
one.
Yeah.
Here's work for you.
Shut up. Here's a prediction. Go our podcast. Go Nets. I got.
Standings. Not standings.
Sure.
Adam, you're up.
I got Tampa Bay, Nashville.
Again?
Man, I just don't see how it doesn't happen. I want it to be the Leafs, by the way. Can it be the Leafs? I'd like it to be the Leafs.
I have Winnipeg in the finals.
Wow.
They're
Whoa.
going to lose to Washington.
Oh, wow.
Imagine this is the year Washington wins. Because they were pretty as
It's
bad.
kind of better.
Oh, way better.
It's kind of a better story. Yeah, I'm going to go Tampa, Nashville. Hard to argue with. Now, the one thing I will say. Now, okay, so the.
No offense to Kings fans. Vegas, I straight up just don't believe you. I don't.
They're going to make the
But-
playoffs.
Listen,
But.
don't make the playoffs, but I don't believe them.
But.
I don't believe them.
I
don't
think I
believe
saw
it.
something like.
It's okay to say you don't believe it, even if they're going to make the playoffs.
But. Like, it's not even Christmas, and I think I saw a stat where they just had their 4th winning streak of 3 games or more.
That's amazing.
That's so stupid. I don't understand it. So
You should be embarrassed if you're an NHL team and if
you're an
can't get
NHL
your shit
GM.
together. Yeah.
if you're an NHL GM, you should be embarrassed. Okay, so here is the Eastern playoff picture as I understand it. Okay. Columbus is the top team in the Metro, but second in the East. So they play the top wild card team. It will be Columbus, New Jersey. First round. Islanders take on Washington in the Metro series. Tampa takes on the bottom wild card team, which is the Rangers. Leafs take on Boston. Leaf fans, you are Tampa Bay Lightning fans for the rest of the season. You hope they finish first in this division. And the Leafs will hopefully finish second, at worst third. Because a day ago, and I guess, due to tiebreak, because the Rangers have played 30 games, they have 35 points. Penguins have played 32 games, they have 35 points. A day ago, the first round series was Toronto-Boston and Tampa-Pittsburgh. And right now it's Tampa-Rangers. And if the Rangers win their next game and New Jersey loses, it's Tampa, New Jersey. And oh boy. Yeah, you're all Tampa
who's
Bay
your
Lightning
pick?
fans. I say Tampa, Nashville.
Okay.
I still think Tampa perseveres, but that's so shitty. It is not advantageous at all to win the Atlantic Division right now. Because you're going to have to play one of those Metro monsters. Ew.
Final thing. Don't forget to tweet your photos of you and 3 friends.
Marlies life!
If you don't have 3 friends, call your neighbors over. I'm sure they'll want to come to the Marlies game too.
Marlies
You and
life.
3 friends. And hashtag the sweet life with Adam and Steve. No, is it Steve and Adam or Adam and Steve?
I don't care.
Adam and Steve is easier to remember.
Is it?
Hashtag the sweet life with Adam and Steve.
Marlies life!
And then demand an immediate retraction.
Sunday! Oh, Adam.
How many backhands did you score, Steve?
It'll get you.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.